how the plant tissue differ from the animal tissue. The plant tissue and animal tissue, in the plant body and animal body, although both have been fundamentally made from the cell, all the organisms, all the living organisms, whether it is the plant or animal, fundamentally they are all alike. That means basic structural and functional structure is the cell, but they have also distinct differences. As there are some important differences you have also observed in your everyday life, and when you will observe the plants, and also you are observing several types of species of animals, then there is some idea you have also got. What are those ideas? We would like to think. The first one is that the most important difference, that in case of the plant we have seen that they are stationary, they are fixed at a particular place. They cannot able to move from one place to another for the search of food, for the safe shelter and protecting from the enemies, and for the process of reproduction. There are some special purposes for the movement and locomotion, like the search of food, shelter, safe shelter, protection from the enemies, and the reproduction. So for all these purposes, animal can move, but plants cannot. That's why, as plant fixed at a particular place, that's why in the plant body there are a large number of dead tissues are present that will support and provide mechanical strength to the plant body. But it is not in case of the. In plant body, there is a demarcation in the tissue. What is the demarcation? A group of cells which having the capability to divide always, and they are all immature, they have formed a particular type of tissue that is known as the meristematic tissue. We will study it in our next class. And a group of cells we cannot divide, and they now got the they now differentiate into the permanent structure, and there is no more cell division. That is the permanent tissue. But such type of origin is such type of regions or such type of places with the demarcation is not present in the animal tissue. And animal, as you have seen that plants are fixed at a particular place, and that's why they need a less energy requirement in their body. Whereas in case of the animal, there is a large amount of energy required. So there are several differences. Now I would like to give an idea about the differences of the plant. In the plant, there is maybe the division of cell occurs, and that's why there is always a formation of the tissue, always a process of the growth, but at the maturity in the animal, the growth has stopped. All this fact will come in the next part, that is the differences between animal and plant tissue. Now we have already discussed and talked a lot about the plant and the animal tissues and their differences, but now please write down these notes. There are some specific points I have mentioned. May you can change this point, may can you also add some other points also as you like. I have here written number 1, dead supportive tissues are present in abundance that will provide mechanical strength and support to the plant. Such type of dead cells are not present in the living in the animal. differentiation of meristematic and permanent tissue occurs. This differentiation, that means the tissue whose cells are always divide and the tissue whose cells no more divide. So, this is the demarcation line in the plant tissue, such type of no differentiation or demarcation. The third point, growth of plants limited to certain regions, whereas animals exhibit uniform growth. Less complex than animals' tissues, this contributes to their stationary lifestyle. They fixed at a particular place. More complex than plant tissue, this contributes to their active and mobile lifestyle. So, these are the some facts about the differences between the plant tissue and animal tissue. And at the last, I would like to give you an idea about the syllabus. What are the first part we have already completed, and now in the next class we shall start the plant and animal tissue. Our introductory class has already been completed, and from the next day we shall discuss separately about the plant tissues and animal tissues. But I want to write here plant tissue. What are the content of the syllabus? In plant tissue, two major type of tissues will be studied. Number one, meristematic, and number two, permanent. Permanent meristematic tissues, it is also known as meristems, and permanent tissues. So, these are the two major types, main types of the tissues are present in our syllabus. Further, it is again divided, like meristematic divided depending upon the origin into the three main category: apical, lateral, and the intercalary meristems. Similarly, here it is further also divided depending upon the some other facts which we will discuss when we will start plant tissues. In the next class, permanent tissue, simple and complex, simple again divisible and complex. So, here the already what are the content of the syllabus in the plant we have seen, and also I have told you that meristematic will be divided depending on the origin, depending on the origin, like the apical and lateral, intercalary. So, this will be discussed later on, understand? And here in the permanent tissue we will see the division further, like the simple permanent tissue, and the complex, number one simple permanent tissue and the complex permanent tissue, second one complex permanent tissue, and it may also again divisible into three different parts: parenchyma, sclerenchyma, collenchyma, parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. And here this permanent, complex permanent may be divisible into the xylem and phloem. So, this will be discussed later on. Just I have given an idea what are the content of the syllabus. in the plant tissue. And now look about the animal. Just you have seen in the first meristematic tissue, we will study a simple classification that is depending upon the origin, just 3 types: apical, lactal, intercalary. But these are the some detail, like the simple parenchyma, collenchyma, schema. Separately we should study all these things, and separately here also we shall study all these things later on in the classes. Tissue, animal tissue. What are the different types of animal tissue which are included in our syllabus? That is, number 1, epithelial tissue. Their types are also: number 2, muscular tissue; number 3, connective tissue; and number 4, nervous tissue. So these are the 4 important types. Further they also divisible into the different types, and the main 4 different types of tissues are present in our syllabus. So what are the content of the syllabus, CBSE NCERT syllabus? I have already mentioned here that in the plant cell we will study 2 major groups of tissue, like the meristematic and the permanent, and in animal tissue we will study about the 4 different types of tissues. These are epithelial, muscular, connective, and nervous tissue. That's all for today's lesson.